If you're feeling, let's say, really stressed out and your shoulders are hiked up like this, right? That's pretty common. Okay, you're stressed, you got a lot of tension in your upper neck muscles, your upper back. You're like, ah. The fact that you're experiencing an emotion of stress and anxiety in your mind has a physical manifestation. Welcome to another video. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of me yipping yammering, talking about muscles, this, that, and the other thing, trying to come up with material that's going to help you on your pursuit to better your life, better your physique, get more jacked. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about posture, and I've made a lot of short form, quick, hot hitters for TikTok, YouTube Shorts, approaching the posture issue from a physical perspective. So if you have a certain posture, like anterior pelvic tilt, for example, where you have excessive arch in your lower back, your butt sticks out, there's going to be certain muscles that are likely to be underactive or weak. There's going to be certain muscles that are likely to be short, tight, overactive. And how can you approach this, and what are some of the potential strengthening exercise or stretches that you could do? Okay, that's one way of addressing posture, and I've made a number of videos on that. People are engaging with them, and it's a good start to get you learning about your anatomy and understanding what part of the problem is if you have a certain postural dysfunction. However, there's many additional components, and I'm not an expert in these other components, but I think at least acknowledging them and opening up your mind to what they are will give you a more full picture of how to improve your posture and how to have more realistic expectations of what's going to happen. So if you were to watch one of my videos, you maybe have anterior pelvic tilt, I'm recommending that you need to strengthen your core musculature to help pull your hips, your pelvis into a more neutral position. And you go and do some of these core exercises once a day or once every couple days or whatever, and you're asking, how long do I have to wait till I see results? Am I going to change my posture in a month? What's going to happen? You need to consider these other factors. Number one being your lifestyle and your habits. So if you're doing these exercises, let's say in this example that I'm yammering on about, but then you're sitting at your desk at work for 8 hours, and then you sit in your car for a couple hours, and then you sit at home and watch Netflix for an hour, and so maybe you're sitting for 10 hours and you do an exercise for 10 minutes. Which thing, sitting for 10 hours, exercising for 10 minutes, which thing do you think is going to have more of an effect on your overall posture? So you need to look at your lifestyle and your habits, because reducing the amount of, let's say, dysfunctional or negative sedentary positions, reducing the amount of time that you spend in those positions is a major component to what posture you have. So if you're sitting in a hunched position, let's say, your shoulders are maybe internally rotated, your upper back's rounded. If you do some of the strengthening exercises I've mentioned that are going to address the muscles that are maybe underactive or weak, but you still sit for 8 hours a day in a hunched position, you're probably not going to see any change. So you need to look at what your habits are, and if you really want to fix your posture, doing some of the exercises or stretches that I've recommended, and in addition, look at how could I address my lifestyle to potentially sit in a better position, to potentially sit less, or maybe you're standing in weird position, whatever these your body's meant to move and be active. And I think a lot of what the postural dysfunctions can come from is if you stay in a really sedentary position for long periods of time. Your body wasn't necessarily designed to do that. So I think that can heavily contribute to certain postural dysfunctions. Second thing would be open your mind to the connection between your mind and your body. So the way that your central nervous system, your brain, is going to interact with the muscles in your body can have a significant effect on your posture. So what the fuck am I talking about here? A couple little examples that'll help to illustrate it for you. So if you're feeling, let's say, really stressed out and your shoulders are hiked up like this, right? That's pretty common. Okay, you're stressed, you got a lot of tension in your upper neck muscles, your upper back. You're like, ah. The fact that you're experiencing an emotion of stress and anxiety in your mind has a physical manifestation and can physically affect the tension in your muscles. Another example would be if you're really nervous and maybe you're entering into a new school or a new job, or you have to give a presentation and you feel really anxious and nervous about it, you're probably not going to walk into the room with your chest out and your chin held high. It's more likely to want to round forward and protect yourself. So another example of the effect that your mental state, the emotions that you're feeling, the thoughts that you're having can affect the way that your physical body ends up looking or the posture that you end up taking. I think that these are just a couple examples to get you thinking about how this is a component. I'm not necessarily an expert in that field. There are other people that are way more qualified, scientists and such, that are going to give you the more nitty gritty. This is just a very surface level sort of explanation or introduction into, hey, there is a connection between your mind and your emotions and your body, and that you should also be considering that and be aware of that when you're going about approaching how to fix your posture or improve your posture. The last aspect would be genetics. I don't think it's too far of a stretch to say that you can often see similarities between parents and their kids in terms of the way they walk, in terms of the posture they have, in terms of their kind of a general anatomy. So you can definitely inherit certain aspects that are going to, from your parents, that are going to lead to your posture. And maybe could be the mechanism of you've inherited a similar type of brain chemistry, and your dad has a tendency to get really anxious and hold a lot of tension in his upper back. Well, then maybe portions of that have been passed down to you, and you have a similar kind of posture where your shoulders are a little bit hiked up. This is a possibility, okay? This is something that, again, I'm not an expert in genetics. I'm not a scientist. I'm a trainer who's really interested in human anatomy, has a good grasp on human anatomy and how some of the postural dysfunctions can lead to certain muscles being underactive and other muscles being overactive. Okay, that's sort of my realm that I feel like I have some expertise in and able to help educate you guys on how to approach your posture from that angle. But these other three angles, genetics, the connection between your mind and your body, and your lifestyle and your habits, I'm not necessarily prescribing a specific thing to do, because I don't think that I'm 100% qualified. But at the very least, this video will help you to get an introductory exposure to how these other factors significantly impact your posture, so you're at least looking at the issue, more full understanding of what to expect and how to go about it in a way that you're actually going to see change. So if you were to do some of the exercises or stretches I've recommended, but you still have a lot of kind of emotional tension or mind tension in your body, and you sit in a really bad position for long periods of the day, maybe you're not really going to see any actual change, and you should at least be aware of those areas, and then start going about trying to find ways to make changes in those areas as well to actually make more of a shift in your posture. So that's it. I hope that helps you to continue on your journey of making improvements in your posture and your life. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Peace.